Hey viewers, welcome to African Tales by Afi. Please kindly click the subscribe button to get notified for more amazing stories. In a small, dusty town called Sun Hill, there lived a girl named Lena. She was only 12 years old, but she carried the weight of the world on her small shoulders. Every morning before the sun fully rose, Lena woke up with a big straw bag slung over her back. Her mission was simple but important. She collected bottles, cans, and anything recyclable that people threw away. She did this not because she liked trash, oh no! She did it because of her little brother, Toby, who dreamed of becoming a doctor. Their parents had passed away when they were very young, and Lena had become like a mother to him. She worked hard every day so Toby could go to school and learn. One morning, as Lena searched near the edge of the marketplace, her fingers frozen from the morning air, Toby ran after her, still in his school shirt. "Lena," he called, panting. "You forgot your scarf." "Oh, Toby," Lena said, smiling and wrapping the scarf around her neck. "Thank you. Now run along. You don't want to be late for school." "But you haven't had breakfast." "I'll be fine," she said, gently patting his head. "Maybe I'll find something warm at Mama Lila's stall later." A tall man in a sharp black suit stood nearby, watching them from the window of his shiny black car. His name was Mr. Remy Adewale, one of the richest men in the city. He owned several factories and stores, and he rarely came to this part of town. But something about Lena had caught his attention weeks ago. She didn't beg. She didn't complain. She worked hard with a quiet strength in her eyes. Mr. Adewale couldn't stop thinking about her. Back on the street, Lena continued collecting bottles, humming softly to herself. At the end of the day, she walked to the recycling shop and emptied her bag. The shopkeeper said, counting her earnings. "You've done well today, Lena. Here's 500 naira. Lena took the money with a grateful smile. "Thank you, Uncle Bako. This will help with Toby's school books." As she turned to leave, she saw Mr. Adewale's car again. This time, the door opened, and a man in a neat shirt stepped out. "Excuse me," he said kindly. "Are you Lena?" "Yes, sir," she said, puzzled. "Do I know you?" "My name is Kunal. I work for Mr. Adewale. He would like." The next morning, Lena woke up before the roosters crowed. She washed her face with cold water, combed her thick black hair into 2 neat plaits, and wore her cleanest dress even though it had a small patch on the sleeve. Toby helped her smooth it down. "You look like a princess, Lena," he whispered, admiring her with shining eyes. She laughed. "Princesses don't collect trash, silly." "Well, maybe this one does," Toby said proudly. "And maybe that's why she's special." With a hug goodbye, Lena walked to the bus stop, holding her bag tightly to her chest. Her heart pounded in her chest the whole ride. When she reached Adewale Towers, her mouth fell open. The building was so tall it touched the clouds. The glass doors sparkled, and people in suits walked quickly like they had superpowers. A woman at the front desk looked up. "Can I help you?" I'm here to see Mr. Adewale," Lena said nervously. The woman raised her eyebrows. "Do you have an appointment?" "I think so. His assistant, Kunal, told me to come." Just then, Kunal appeared, smiling warmly. "Ah, Lena! You made it. Come with me." She followed him into a silver elevator that zoomed up like magic. When the doors opened, they stepped into an office so grand, Lena thought it was a palace. There were bookshelves taller than her house, paintings that seemed to move, and a wall made entirely of glass showing the whole city below. Then he walked in, Mr. Remy Adewale. He was tall, with salt and pepper hair and warm brown eyes. He wore a simple white shirt, but he carried himself like a king. "Lena," he said gently, offering his hand. "I'm so glad you came." Lena shook his hand, her fingers trembling. "Good morning, sir. I've watched you for some time," he said. "You work harder than most people I know, and you do it all for your brother." Lena looked down, embarrassed. "It's all I can do, sir. I just want him to have a better life." Mr. Adewale nodded slowly. "And that's why I want to give you a job. You see, I own a company that needs people like you, honest, determined, and kind." Lena looked up, surprised. "But I don't know anything about working in a big place like this." He smiled. "You'll learn. You'll start as an office helper, helping with deliveries, organizing files, and keeping things tidy. You'll also get a monthly salary, enough to pay for Toby's school and still save a little." Lena gasped. "Truly, sir?" "Truly," he said. "If you work hard, there will be more opportunities." Tears welled in Lena's eyes. "Thank you, sir. I promise I won't let you down." "I believe you," he said kindly. "You start on Monday." When Lena got home that evening, she twirled in front of Toby. "Guess what?" she said breathlessly. "I got the job." Toby jumped up and down. "You did it, Lena. You're amazing." Over the next week, Lena began her new job. Every morning, she rode the bus to Adewale Towers, dressed in the neat uniform Mr. Adewale had given her. She kept the offices spotless, delivered documents with care, and always greeted everyone with a smile. But not everyone smiled back. A woman named Cynthia, one of the secretaries, often frowned at Lena. She whispered to others and rolled her eyes whenever Lena passed. Why did Mr. Adewale hire a girl from the streets? Cynthia sneered one afternoon to another staff member. "She doesn't belong here." Lena overheard the words, and her heart sank. She scrubbed the floor harder, trying not to cry. Later that day, Mr. Adewale called her into his office. "Lena," he said gently, "how's your first week going?" She hesitated. "It's good, sir. A little hard sometimes." He tilted his head. "Did someone say something unkind?" She paused, then nodded slowly. He leaned forward. "Don't let it stop you. People fear what they don't understand. But your work speaks louder than their whispers." Lena smiled. "Yes, sir. And one more thing," he added. "There's a training class happening next month for office assistants. I've added your name. I think you're ready." Lena's eyes widened. "Me?" "You." That night, Lena lay on her mat beside Toby, staring at the ceiling. "Do you think I can really do it, Toby? Learn all those new things?" Toby yawned and snuggled close. "I think you can do anything, Lena. You're my hero." And with her brother's faith warming her heart, Lena closed her eyes, ready to face whatever came next. 2 weeks had passed since Lena started working at Adewale Towers, and everything was changing fast. She was learning to use a computer, organizing office supplies, and even answering phones without stuttering. But not everything was smooth. Cynthia, the secretary with the sharp tongue and cold eyes, was growing more jealous by the day. Every time Mr. Adewale praised Lena's work, Cynthia's lips tightened like a squeezed lemon. "She's just a cleaner who got lucky," Cynthia whispered to a junior staff member. "Wait until she makes a mistake." One rainy Thursday morning, Lena was given an important task: to deliver sealed envelopes to each department head. Mr. Adewale had handed them to her personally. "These are private," he said kindly. "Give each one directly to the person named on it, and don't leave them unattended, okay?" "Yes, sir," Lena said proudly, cradling the envelopes in her arms like gold. She walked carefully from floor to floor, knocking politely and delivering them with a smile. But just as she entered the finance department, Cynthia spotted her. "Oh, Lena," she said, flipping her hair. "You can leave those here. I'll hand them out for you." "I'm supposed to give them directly," Lena replied softly. Cynthia smiled sweetly. Too sweetly. "I'm the secretary here, remember? It's part of my job. Don't worry, I'll make sure everyone gets theirs." Lena hesitated. Cynthia looked calm and professional, but something in her eyes didn't feel right. Still, Lena didn't want to disobey someone older. "Okay," she said reluctantly and handed over the last few envelopes. That evening, Lena was just about to head home when Mr. Adewale's voice came through the intercom. "Lena, please come to my office." Her heart skipped. Maybe he wanted to say thank you. She smoothed her dress and stepped inside his office. But Mr. Adewale didn't look happy. "Lena," he said, his voice quiet, "did you give the finance envelope to Mr. UCHE directly?" Lena froze. "And no, sir. Cynthia said she'd give it to him." He rubbed his temples. That envelope never reached Mr. UCHE. And it contained salary details that are now missing. Lena's lips trembled. "I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't mean to." "I believe you," he said quickly. "But rules must be followed. I warned you not to leave the envelopes. This is serious." Tears slid down Lena's cheeks. "I only wanted to help. I thought Cynthia." "I know, Lena. But in business, trust is everything." She left the office feeling like a balloon with all the air let out. On the bus home, she stared at the rain streaking the windows, her bag clutched to her chest. At home, Toby rushed to greet her. "Lena! Look! I got a perfect score on my math test." She tried to smile, but her face crumpled. She sat down on their mat and told him everything. "I might lose the job, Toby," she whispered. "I made a mistake." Toby put his tiny arms around her. "You're not a mistake, Lena. Everyone messes up. Maybe he'll give you another chance." The next day, Lena came to work with her head held low. Cynthia smirked as she walked past. "I told you this place wasn't for you," she hissed. Just then, Mr. Adewale appeared. "Lena. A moment, please." She followed him to the rooftop garden, a quiet place where he liked to think. "I thought about what happened," he said, standing beside the flowers. "And I've made a decision." Lena looked at the floor. "I understand if you want me to leave, sir." "No," he said. "I don't." Her head snapped up. "You don't? You made a mistake," he said gently. "But you admitted it. That takes courage." And you've been honest from the beginning. That's rare. Lena felt her chest rise with hope. I also found out, he continued, that Cynthia has been spreading unkind lies. She's been warned. Lena blinked. You believe me? I do. And I see something in you, Lena, something special. That's why I'm offering you a scholarship. Her jaw dropped. A scholarship? Yes, he said. You'll work part-time and attend classes in the evening. We'll train you in business skills, communication, and design. If you want to go far, I'll help you get there. Lena's heart soared. Thank you, sir. Thank you. He smiled. I see seeds in people, Lena. Some grow into weeds. But you're a flower. And I want to help you bloom. As the sun peeked through the clouds, Lena stood there with tears in her eyes and joy in her heart. The storm had passed. Something new was beginning. Months passed, and Lena's life bloomed like the sunflowers Mr. Adewale planted in the rooftop garden. She was now a part-time junior assistant, and after work each day, she attended evening classes paid for by her scholarship. She learned how to speak clearly, type reports, use a computer with ease, and even sketch simple designs. The girl who once sorted through trash on the street was now holding notebooks and dreams in her hands. Toby, now in his second year of school, grew taller and more cheerful. He helped Lena study and proudly told anyone who would listen, "My sister works at Adewale Towers. One day, she's going to own her own company." Lena laughed every time he said it, but a small part of her started to believe it could actually happen. One sunny afternoon, Mr. Adewale called Lena into his office again. "Come sit, Lena," he said, motioning to the chair beside his desk. "Do you remember your first week here?" "Yes, sir," she said with a shy smile. "I was afraid of touching anything." He chuckled. "Now you walk these halls like you belong here, which you do." Lena looked up. "Thank you for giving me that chance, sir. You changed my life." "No, Lena," he said kindly. "You changed your own life. I just opened the door, you walked through it." He pulled out a folder and handed it to her. Inside were designs she had drawn in her spare time, bright, colorful ideas for a community center in Sun Hill, her hometown. "I showed these to our architecture team," Mr. Adewale said. "They were impressed. So I've decided to sponsor this project. You'll help lead it." Lena's mouth fell open. "Me? Lead it?" "You'll work with professionals, of course," he said. "But I want your vision. It's time your voice was heard." Lena could barely find the words. I don't know what to say." "Say yes," he said with a grin. She laughed through tears. "Yes, sir." But not everyone was happy. Cynthia had been moved to another department after a final warning. One day, she passed Lena in the hallway and muttered, "Lucky girl." Lena didn't get angry. She simply smiled and replied, "Luck helped me find the door. Hard work opened it." That evening, Lena and Toby sat on their small rooftop at home, watching the stars. "Guess what?" she told him, her eyes twinkling. "I'm going to help build a place for children like us. A library, a study room, a little garden." Toby gasped. "Will there be snacks too?" Lena giggled. "If you help me plan it, yes." They lay back, side by side. "Do you ever miss the old days?" Toby asked quietly. Sometimes, Lena said honestly. They were hard. But they made us strong. Toby turned to her. And now? Now, she said, I feel like I'm finally planting seeds in good soil. Weeks later, at the groundbreaking event for the Sunhill Community Center, Lena stood on a small stage in front of a crowd. She wore a smart blue dress and held Toby's hand. Reporters asked questions. Cameras clicked. Mr. Adewale stood proudly nearby, watching like a father. When it was Lena's turn to speak, she took a deep breath. Good afternoon, she began. My name is Lena, and I used to be a trash collector. Gasps rippled through the crowd. I did it to help my little brother go to school. I didn't have fancy clothes or a big house, but I had love, and I had hope. She looked at Mr. Adewale. One day, someone saw that hope. He didn't see garbage, he saw potential. Her voice grew stronger. This center is for every child who feels invisible. For every girl who's told she's not enough. I want them to know they are enough. And they can rise. The crowd clapped. Some wiped away tears. Toby beamed beside her. After the ceremony, as the crowd cleared, Mr. Adewale approached. You made me proud, Lena. You made me believe, sir, she replied. He smiled gently. You know, I've spent my life building things. Towers, businesses, brands. But helping you rise, that's been my greatest achievement. Lena's eyes filled again, but this time they were tears of joy. You changed my story, sir. No, he said softly. You rewrote it. And as the sun dipped behind the hills of Sunhill, the girl who once walked the streets collecting trash now stood tall, full of light, building a future not just for herself, but for everyone like her. Hello tribe, hope we enjoyed today's story. Please kindly put what you've learned in the comments section. Please remember to hit the like button, share this to your friends and family as well as subscribe to see you on the next one. Bye.